Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of the MMA Huddle. John here and Will. Will bro, we just had UFC London happen. Jorge Masvidal went 2-0 for the night. It was a decision-filled card, let's say, but quite a lot of victories for the Brits, which is always a good thing. I suppose you can always look at it as a positive view. Quite a lot of hematomas and orbital bones. But before we go into that, bro, we're going to ask everyone at home listening, whether on YouTube or you listen to on your iPhone, etc., hit the subscribe button, give us a follow, and it will give you notifications if you're on YouTube. If you hit the little, there's a picture of a little bell there for when the next podcast or interviews are up. And give us your feedback on this Nashville card. Let us know who you see fighting and winning, or if you've got any bets coming up, put them down below and give us your odds and who you think are going to win. Me and Will interact with you as much as we can on the betting side, as much as we do on how we decide our picks. But Will, give me your thoughts on UFC London, bro, and how you thought the card was as a whole.
Well, just looking at the numbers that they made, I think it was the biggest gate. They had a big 16,000 capacity crowd. So the UFC, that's going to be a massive success for the UFC, and I suppose it's good for the territory that a lot of the Brits kind of came in and did their business here, and especially some of the English people, the English fighters come in here and won their fights. So it looks like it was a fairly successful card. It was not your most kind of jam-packed spectacular card, but it had its spots where it was good. And I mean, just starting off the card, it was like Mike Grundy. There was a lot of people on Mike Grundy last week, and he had a really tough opponent, and people automatically thought that he was going to go to the wrestling, and he showed that he's kind of got more than that, and he's worked on more than that, and that's a good win over a guy like Nad Narimani, who's really tough, durable, and especially getting him out of there with strikes. It's a decent start for him to start off his UFC career. I know it's I think he said he torn his ACL or as well. So if he's been carrying an injury like that, then that's a big win to have the start off your UFC career. So fair play to the guy.
What about Nathaniel Wood and his performance?
Yeah. I tell you what, why don't we just go and just talk about each fight quick?
Yeah, sure, bro. Yeah, go ahead.
So what do you like? You see, Mike went in there and did the business. What do you think?
I knew about Mike Grundy, obviously, because I trained and I had to deal with what he was as a human being and knew the potential he had in him. So I knew Nad potentially could have been dangerous on the feet with the work he's been doing at Team Alpha Male. But like I say, obviously Mike Grundy's been, he's got already that pedigree in wrestling, and he's just adding the striking to it. He's probably going to get a little bit better as time goes by with the striking. So he can throw with confidence, because he showed a great sprawl. When Nad went for that takedown on him, he showed a great sprawl and caused Nad for some issues there. And I think, great solid performance. Mm-hmm. And I think he's going to be an absolute headache for a lot of people in that division, because there's not a lot of other guys like Nad, strong grappler, good, hard, hard to take down, hard to keep down. Nad's a tough guy, in that kind of facet, and that's what was the big question mark. I think Mike's going to be able to turn to his wrestling a bit more often against other opponents in that weight class.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think as soon as he comes up against a decent wrestler, then you're probably going to see where he's at and kind of go from there. But just running through the kind of early prelims for me here, Molly McCann. So happy that Molly got a win. Molly's just one of the nicest girls you'll ever meet. She's got time for everybody.
Yeah, she does.
Sit and talk to you. She'll have a coffee with you. Happy to see that she got that eye looked at. I think she had surgery this morning or something.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did.
And that she was dominating that fight before kind of getting that punch to the eye, and it closed it up really bad.
Yeah.
That looked bad.
It looked like a thumb went in the eye, because it looked like a girl turned her hand over like an overhand.
Yeah.
Right, but I thought it was a thumb in her eye. You see, that's what I thought. And then obviously when you saw it, it was a combination of the thumb knuckle in the eye kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She looked like she definitely made improvements. Definitely.
Definitely.
Put in a lot in this fight card, and I liked her story, like how depressed she was, and it's stuff. I like stories like that. You can see them come through the other end and get victories and stuff like that. But she'll need to step up her game, because Cachoeira is just, she's there to be. Like you said last week, she drops her hands and she's there to be hit. But Molly took advantage of that. Dan Ige, he dealt with Danny Henry with ease. He
Yeah,
really,
it was crazy how easy he did it, bro, wasn't it?
yeah,
It was
on
just
the
weird.
feet as well. And thing is, from what I'm hearing from up this side of the UK, Danny was in the best shape he's ever been in. Like he
Yeah.
felt he felt in the best place. But Danny Ige just came out there, caught him,
Court
and
match, yeah.
yeah,
I
he's
think
got.
Danny starts a bit slow, maybe. I don't know what it is.
A,
He just needs a minute or two to get warmed into the fight. But
yeah,
yeah,
I was never when I first seen Ige, I was like, he's tough. You could definitely see that. I
yeah,
didn't know what his ceiling was, but he said if he's got striking to match his grappling, then he's going to be a problem for some guys, and that's a good win. I mean, taking
yeah, it is.
Danny's streak off him and taking the confidence of winning that fight in the first round, the first minute and a bit. Fair play to him. I hope Danny kind of rebounds back there and we see what he's like. Safarov and Nimaragu, how the hell you pronounce that? That was just, I don't even want to talk about that. That was weak.
Said there's no point having a fight in the card. I said that.
That should have been in Prague. That should have.
Yeah.
I know Saki was supposed to face Safarov, but put that in Prague where it's a bit kind of closer to their homes and whatever else,
Yeah.
and our home countries. Mark Diakese, that was the one fight through the weeks when, as the week was going on, I was getting more and more confident in Diakese, and people were telling me, and people messaging me saying, "What do you think about Duffy? I think he's a solid bet." And I'm like, I don't know how you think he's a solid bet. It's like honestly, I think Joseph Duffy is maybe done.
I'm with you, Will. I think everyone just lives off that goddamn Conor win, and it's
Nice.
like, look, he's nowhere near the guy he used to be. It's almost like he's got no confidence, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, he should be lighting people up with that boxing. He should be a bit more aggressive. He should be like, he's forthcoming, but what he's waiting for is guys to strike, and he's countering. I'm like, no, Joe, you should be lighting him up. You should be ripping up the head, then take that body with that left hook.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it. His hands. You saw in that fight, he did land some beautiful little shots on Mark, but he didn't do it often enough. And then obviously those leg kicks wrecked his day.
Yeah.
And it was like that's an ATT thing. Like a lot of the guys in ATT started working on that a while back, and you know it came through. It paid off big time for Mark, and obviously coming back in the UK training there. We said it last week. We said, you know, when the chips are down, you're fighting for your career. All of a sudden you will push that a little bit further. And Joe just had that. You know, he had that. Obviously, the terrorist Ali picked this fight because he thought it'd be a sure bet, and you know what, I'm buzzing for Mark, and I'm glad it backfired like that.
Yeah, DK's is good. Like,
He is.
I've had people say, and everybody's got their own opinion, and they've got every right to vent it out there. But just because he's lost 3 in a row, he's never looked out of place. You got to remember, I think he just turned 26 yesterday.
He wasn't getting knocked out either. It was not like he was getting starched.
Yeah, and he's getting beat by good fighters. They're not bad fighters. I actually think the fighters that beat him could probably beat Joseph Duffy as well. So, Diakese, I thought he mixed it up really well. It was one of my performances of the night. I was really happy to see. Like I said, Duffy to me just looks like a shot fighter, or a shot in confidence. I don't know what it is. I like Joe Duffy a lot. I think we all do over this side of the world. He's a nice guy. When he puts it all together, he's a good fighter. But I was happy to see Mark get the win there. Just hopefully he can build that off this confidence and move forward. Arnold Allen, nothing special. Did what he had to do. Really never showed us anything that we didn't know already. I found out more about Jordan Rinaldi in that spot than I did Arnold Allen. Arnold's that type of fighter. I think it was very. It's just a consistent performance. Nothing really showed out, but he keeps that streak going, and he just needs to get fights.
Hey, he showed great defense on the takedowns, though. Let's be honest. Like, he snapped that Rinaldi attack like he just didn't give him a shot at getting those in. He was really on. Like, he was cautious. Don't get me wrong, Arnold, in that fight, because he didn't want to overextend his shots to get taken down. But what he did do was he just played the fight in his way the whole way through. Rinaldi never adjusted, never changed anything, never tried to up the tempo, never tried to catch Arnold out, just stuck. He was like he was chasing Arnold's shadow, and Arnold just kept pop, 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 and it was, do you know what? That was a beautiful performance from a technical aspect. He just literally outclassed him in every area. And Rinaldi just never tried to get and think outside the box.
Yeah, like I said, I learned more from Ronaldo than I did from Arnold, because I expect a lot from Arnold. Like I say, the one thing that I kind of took away from this last night, thinking when I got home and I started watching it, was that I was looking at Nathaniel Wood and Arnold Allen. I was like, Arnold Allen's been in the UFC for 4 years and he only has 1 fight a year. And like, crazy. Nathaniel Wood's been in for 6 months and he's got 3 fights.
Yeah.
And that's what Arnold Allen should have been doing. He should have been in that position where Nathaniel Wood's pushing or soon to be pushing on
Top
that top
15.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that maybe a win, maybe two. Arnold Allen, I still think he's a couple more away. That I think they're going to try and give him obviously bigger fights. But just moving on to the main card, Jack Marshman beats John Phillips. I had that for John Phillips, but John Phillips knocked him down the first and then started curtsying to him, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. Jack was saying that he didn't really hit me too hard. He just lost me balance, and I was like, it was a mixture of both. He clocked him, but he was moving at the same time. So I'm like, I think he clocked you. Your legs weren't there quite in the right place, so that's probably why you fell as you did. Maybe if you were stood still, you might have been able to take it a bit better. But either or, he got put on his arse. But like you said, you probably saw the post-fight interview. Jack saying he had the issue with the combining the paratrooper and fight career. He's going to leave the paratrooper and focus full time on this. And you think about it, Jack did this part time, so to speak, to get to the UFC. He's not done too bad then, really. If you think about the guys who are doing it full time.
Yeah, I think John Phillips is going to take more away from this than Jack Marshman is, because John Phillips had an opportunity to win that fight. And to be fair, I still think he won the fight, because I think it was fairly obvious that John won the first, Jack won the second, and then the third, John, to me, threw more, landed more. Jack didn't really throw. He was kind of on his bike for most of that round. But if you leave it in the hands of the judges, and we've seen last night with referees and judges that some of these, like Gunnar Nelson got a scorecard, and I'm like...
I
don't know if you've seen this. Like, it actually came out today. The guy that scored that fight for Gunnar Nelson got banned from referee or judging UFC fights 5 years ago. So he's managed to squeak his way back in. Dana White put out a petition or something 5 years ago to get him banned, and he's back again. But there was a card that he gave to someone years ago that was really, really egregious, and he's back judging fights now. So yeah, but John Phillips, we'll not see him in the UFC. There's no danger we're going to see him in the UFC again. Fair play to Jack. Hopefully he kind of moves himself forward, and if he's going full time in this, then fair play, and all the best to him.
John Phillips will be on Bellator.
Yeah, they're going to start. Oh yeah, 100%.
SPG.
So Claudio Silva, Danny Roberts. I'm a Danny Roberts guy. Everybody knows that. You know that. I thought he had his opportunity. I think that Claudio Silva, I thought what I liked about what Danny did there is, what I liked and what I didn't like was he went into the kind of game of Claudio Silva, but what I didn't like was the fact that he went into the game of Claudio Silva. Get back to your feet, bro. It's like, don't try and get this guy. That guy's a third-degree black belt for a reason. Eventually, if you give him too many opportunities, he's going to find something. And no matter what happened with the referee, I'm kind of on Danny's side and everything else, but you're coming from another side where you say that these guys are told things beforehand. You can't be doing this, you can't be doing that. So he put himself in that position to kind of lose the fight that way.
And I think Claudio, in my opinion, lost it himself. He almost lost the fight himself. He had a couple of submissions there on Danny, but what I found really weird was that he just stuck to that like head and arm choke, and I was a couple of times I thought you could have let go of those a bit sooner, because he knows himself. You let go a bit sooner, reset, go again, and then you could adjust. But he just kept sticking to this head and arm choke. I don't know what his fascination was. I'd love to know what his dedication was for that one submission. I thought you could have opened him up in other ways to get other submissions. But like you said, people who don't know, when you're in the back with the referees, so in the back before fights, there's a referee meeting where you go and they explain the rule sets, etc. They go through all the rules, and one of the rules, for example, with submissions and any kind of aspect like that, is if you're in a submission hold and you tap, obviously that's at the end of the fight. If you verbally say stop, or I'm out, like say uncle, they say, or if you give a vocal yell, like basically saying ouch, verbally, that is classed as a submission, because your body is you can't stop that. That's what it's like. It's like, that's a natural instinction to say my body is in pain. That is not a good thing. And for the fighter's safety, the referee jumps in, because guys will tough it out, and we don't know then, because obviously Danny yelped. How bad was that arm then? If he kept it going, he could have got. But I know he was rolling out, but at the same time, it was still rules are rules. That's what we got to accept. Yeah,
like I say, Danny's always going to be one of these fighters in the UFC that's going to look good in some fights, and I still think he's going to lose some fights. But like I say, I'm a fan of his. I'm always going to be a fan of just a top guy. Moving on, Nathaniel Wood beats Jose Quinones, second round submission, and he looks. It's weird because some guys come into the UFC and the bright lights hit and they're not sure about how they're going to react. Nathaniel Woods come in, he's a guy that's been there for years. He looks.
It's like he's fighting Cage Warriors. There's no different.
Yeah. He's just in a great. He's in a great mind space at the minute, and this was, we said last week, this is a showcase fight for him, and it was from the get-go. I don't even think he got out of second gear in this fight.
Nah, didn't need to, mate.
He didn't need to. He was on cruise control, got the opportunity. He was levels above Quinones, like I thought he would be. He was my most confident.
It was a finish opportunity there, bro, for him to finish the show. It was a highlight reel finish for him. They literally, that was on the plate there.
Yeah. I'm interested to see the match him up with next, because he's obviously Andre Ewell. I've never really rated Andre Ewell, and I don't. And Quinones, not that I rate him highly, but he's tough. Mexican guys are tough. They're known tough guys. But the guys, and like, I think his first fight was actually his hardest of the three.
Yeah, it was, and he got hurt big time. Yeah,
he got concussed.
Crazy.
So the kid's good, man. The kid's really good. He's one of my favourite fighters on the roster. He's a guy I've always wanted to meet, Nathaniel. We'd never got the opportunity to meet him. He's a guy that I think I would like to meet and just chat a little bit and find out just what kind of guy he is to be around. Because from everybody that I hear that know him pretty well, like Matt and stuff like that, who seems to be around him quite a lot, I'm sure he's an absolute top guy. So, but interesting to see, because he's probably going to fight in the summer. So that's 4 fights in a year. That's the way you introduce yourself, like Peter Yan is.
Yes.
Do that. Keep constant, keep busy, look impressive every fight, and you're going to get big fights. And Nathaniel's going to be main eventing cards in London within the next couple of years. I've no doubt about it. And
look at that. You've got Peter Yan, Wood, and Brett Johnson's off to the UFC Performance Institute. A couple of injuries delayed it, so he's off there. But you've got a couple of three European top quality guys in that UFC division in the bantamweights. Yeah. It's fantastic. I actually think Wood and Yan are the next kind of Cummins in that division. I put a wee poll on the Twitter there, and I think he's a top 10 guy to make that jump into that top 5. I think Peter Yan can do it. I really believe in that guy. I think Nathaniel has still got a bit of work to do, but he looks to me so calm, so collected, and just so well rounded at the minute. We've not really even seen his hands. It's his submission game we've seen since he came into the UFC. So it's weird, yeah.
Fair play to the guy. I'm a big fan, and hopefully he does the business the rest of this year. Light heavyweight division, that was a really weird fight. I had it for Dominic Reyes, close.
I had Volkan, yeah.
And so it's just how you see things. It's probably another fight. If I was to go back and watch again, that I would probably maybe go the other way there. But big fight, a big win for Reyes. I think we find out a lot about him though.
Yeah.
And Volkan was taking him down, and Volkan's not a strong grappler. So I think when he pumped the brakes on Dominic Reyes, people were saying he's the guy that's going to roll John Jones.
Exactly.
No.
No chance.
Yeah, and like I say, Volkan, that's a little bit of a sore one. He would have thought he won that fight without a doubt. So interesting to see who they put Reyes with next.
I know. I think someone like like a Manoa or OSP, something like that. You know, I know because he might not have someone higher ranked. He might someone in that kind of upper, someone in top 15. You know what I mean?
Reyes beat OSP already, hasn't he?
Oh no, yeah, sorry.
So I'm trying
Jimmy
to think.
Manoa, maybe, yeah.
Manoa or it's hard to, maybe Latifi. I don't know, maybe
Latifi.
someone like him.
Not Corey Anderson.
He's fighting. From what I hear, he's fighting Rockhold next.
Oh gosh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, sorry, saw that on Twitter.
From what I hear, but who knows until that's announced. Keep an eye on Nolan King and Marcel Dorf. They'll be the guys out there that'll let you know before the UFC does, pretty much. Co-main event: Leon Edwards, Gunny Nelson. I'll put my hand up here. Like, I'm a Gunny fan, but Leon Edwards is impressive. As much as he doesn't sell himself, and he's just not that type of guy, and there's nothing there with it. The guy's a really, really good fighter, and he's well rounded. He's good in every kind of facet, and he's put himself in a position. He wins a couple of fights. He's probably right in there for a title shot, and fair play to him. Like
he improved in his
yeah,
takedowns, defense, and everything. You know, and
he's
that
improved
was
serious.
yeah, and obviously he got Gunner down and was putting Gunner in danger. You know, and that was what was perplexing to me. It felt like Gunner he was too relaxed for me, Gunner. Like, he just didn't seem... There was, like, no urgency to try and win. Even in the third round, I was just like, Gunner, you clearly know you're down.
Yeah.
Where is the urgency? Like, there wasn't enough urgency in his striking. There wasn't enough urgency in takedown attempts. It was just like... He was just thinking it's a 5-round fight, going, so I've got 2 more rounds after this. It was really perplexing. I don't know what Gunner was thinking in that fight. I'd love to know what he was thinking. Obviously, when he got smashed in the face, that changed the whole day. But before that, he just wasn't. It just didn't seem like, I don't know. I say interested, but it's the best Gunner's physically ever looked. And I was like, this is it. Look at him. He looks in incredible shape. He's going to go out the park, and it looked nothing like the Gunner I have seen prior. You know, I don't know if a couple of losses have affected him. I don't know what's going on.
I think it's maybe to do with Leon. He's just awkward. He's big. I forgot. See, at the weigh-ins, I actually looked at him and was like, geez, I forgot how big Leon Edwards actually is. He's a big dude. Fair play to Leon Edwards. I'm not going to... Like I say, I'm not like a super fan. I admire his talent, so I think he's made some hefty improvements to put himself in there and win these fights. And he's probably going to have himself a big fight next against... Who knows? I would think it'd be the winner of the main event here. As Jorge Masvidal comes out and absolutely bludgeons Darren Till in the second round. And see that knockout that Darren took? We ain't going to see Darren for a year at least. If I see him fight in 2019, I'd be super surprised. That was a heavy knockout. And it's not even... Like, the punch was good, but the ding.
And then the punch after.
Yeah.
He got stiffened. It was Terry Etten, that reminiscent stiffened, you know what I mean?
It's weirdly enough, it's his teammate as well.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It was just mental. And he was in his corner, wasn't he, as well, I think?
He was.
Yeah. Oof, awkward. Do you know what the problem was? In the first round, he was getting clipped by Jorge, and he was like, is that it? Is that all you got? And I thought, look, you can't do that for 5 rounds.
Not with that guy. Masvidal's he's an absolute...
Not with anyone. Not with anyone, to be fair. But you can't just sit there and think, I'll do that for 5 rounds. Do you know what the problem is? Like you said, we've said it. That weight cut takes his chin away. I'd be shocked like you said, Will. I'd be shocked if he's in welterweight again.
Yeah, he's not there.
If he fights this year again, if he does, he's an absolute fool. He needs to accept that he would be way better at 180. I think we'd get more out of him at 185. I think he'd have a higher output. I think he'd have more pop in his punches. His chin would be a lot better. Like, he has got... Well, he did have a good chin, to be fair. He was taking some shots prior to the few fights in this, and he showed that he had a good chin, but... Man, there's a lot of questions until now. Like, what's he going to do? Because he talked about how it mentally affected him in the Woodley fight, and he didn't look bad in this fight in the first round. You know, especially when he dropped Jorge in the first 10 seconds. I was like, what is going on here? And even Jorge was like, that's powerful. Well, you got some good pop, kid. But then Jorge just got up and went, yeah, that's cool. I'll eat it, and I'll just eat them like my cereal in the morning, just no problem. Nom 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 nom.
Yeah.
And then Till just
Masvidal's just, like I said last week, I think he's a legend, honestly. I think he's... And he showed that after the fight, with the whole Leon Edwards thing, that this guy's kind of cut from a different cloth.
Yes.
And he's like your Diaz brothers. He's like the real kind of Diaz there. He will literally... It doesn't matter where he is and who he's around. And what nobody's really mentioned is, he went there up to Leon's face and called him out. He says, I'm coming, come and say it to my face. He went up there. And you've got to remember, who's Leon Edwards' brother? His brother's
Fabian.
He's a good fighter. Yeah. And then his whole team's behind him. He was not giving 2 fucks. He was
on his own. Yeah. Even a care in the world. He
threw a 3-piece and a soda on the side.
Yeah.
And he caught him with every shot that he threw. And he caught underneath the right eye.
I watched the video, mate, and that was quick. It was like...
And then I was like, whoa. A little cut on top of his eye as well. And I'm like, Jorge's not down for that shit. If you're... like I say, Masvidal's a legend. I'm a big fan of Masvidal. I think I've kind of underrated him at some points in his career, but...
Yeah. But you know what? Like they said, he looked in great shape coming into this fight. Way better than before. Kind of like Nate Diaz resurgence. Remember when Nate came in against Michael Johnson and I was like, holy crap, who is this Nate Diaz? It's almost like Jorge went, I think I'll bother a bit more now. I'll really put the effort in. And he looked fantastic condition, great shape. But do you know what? Leon probably got a few fans in that performance against Gunner and then lost it like that. When he opened his mouth to Jorge, and all of a sudden everyone went, Jorge, you're a legend. Everyone in Britain went, Jorge, fuck Leon. And Leon just shot himself again. I thought, all you do is shut up. All you do is shut your mouth and just walk. But instead, you open your mouth and you got slapped. And do you see what Leon wrote afterwards? Oh, look at his security was there. What do you want about? He was on his own, and you with your group, and you called him out, and then you walked up to him and brought on. Don't, Leon. Know your place, son. You got slapped around.
I've seen people say like that was wrong. He shouldn't have. Masvidal shouldn't have did that. And I'm just like,
you clearly haven't. You're not fighting.
That guy just came out the cage like 15 minutes ago, and the guy's probably still cooling down, and you're shouting and saying things, and Masvidal being the guy that he is, that fighting's really all he knows, and he's did it from like a young age, wherever it is, and then because Leon Edwards was obviously thinking he's not going to say anything here, he's not going to do anything.
He's doing an interview,
But when Masvidal, he walked up to him, Masvidal was just he said Leon Edwards lifted his hands, and before he even got them up to his chin, he's already thrown that 3-4 piece and hitting him with everything. Masvidal is an absolute G. He is. He's a gangster.
He is.
And the thing is, do you make that fight next?
No. As weird as it sounds, I'm like, I don't know. I was not that. I was like thinking, well, Askren, Till. That was what the UFC clearly were possibly leaning to, and now I'm like, maybe Jorge and Askren.
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, maybe Jorge, maybe Askren and Edwards. It's one of them ones because it's like there's no belt. The belt is potentially going to be Colby at Newsman, potentially.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think
so. It should, in theory, be Colby and Newsman. It should be, and because.
Did you see Ali's tweet? You probably didn't see Ali's tweet.
I did see Ali's tweet. Yeah. He said Jorge should get it. It's like
Masvidal and Colby are like best buds, and that was going to be trying. That was quite interesting. Even
and I'm like, that won't have any effect on them two.
Yeah, I think the UFC know where they're going, but I think the fight speaks for itself now. It's like, but I actually think a 5-round main event with A2 would be actually a good fight. Edwards is legit. Masvidal is legit. It's a good fight. You put that anywhere and people are going to watch. But it's whether you make that fight or not. Because, like I say, Askren was over in the UK for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's why I kind of think maybe Askren might fight Jorge or Edwards.
Yeah.
You know, you've still got to think you could still always put Robbie Lawler against Edwards or Jorge. Do you know what I mean? There is options in our welterweight division that you can make some fun fights with dudes. So, and Wonderboy, you know, I know Wonderboy's fighting this weekend, but you can still, you know, you can throw Wonderboy in that mix against Leon Edwards.
Yeah. Well, like I say, I think it was. See, the one thing I want to say about this whole entire card. See, the best thing, and there's some people out there that wouldn't believe that I'm saying this. See, the best thing about UFC London as a whole was Michael Bisping getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and the way they did it, I thought they did that absolutely perfect. Now, people that know me quite close,
pissed?
Yeah, as people that know me quite close, I've had a couple of run-ins with Michael Bisping in the past. Yeah, he's been a little bit disrespectful to kind of me and family members, and that's just the way it is. Maybe it's just not the type of person I take to. But as the kind of later careers went on, he was fairly decent to me the last time I seen him, and I've kind of came around to the fact that what he's did for UK MMA is massive. And actually, when you watch that video that was made him getting inducted into the UFC last night, Hall of Fame, it was actually shit hot. And fair play to the UFC for doing that, because when you sit back and you actually look what Michael Bisping has done, and you look at his story and you look at his steps, and just like he never ever quit in his dream of being a champion, and that's pretty inspiring. And that's coming from a guy that doesn't really particularly like him much. To be honest with you, I've never been the biggest Bisping fan, and I've talked mad shit on him, mad shit in the past. But fair play to the guy. I actually thought it was pretty good the way they did it, and rightfully deserved to be the first guy in this year's class. So props to Michael Bisping.
Yeah, considering lost all to the Steadheads as well. You know, every time it was just one fight away from a title fight, it was a Steadhead. It was mental. It was absolutely weird. Like,
I was thinking that last night. I was like, he came through the era where there was guys obviously doing it, and you wonder, would he have been the UFC champion before that? I 100% actually think he would.
Because you look at Anderson Silva, Vitor Belfort, Chael Sonnen, all them boys were all jacked up to the tits, and you think, gosh, he would have been there way sooner. How nuts is that to think that he could have had that belt well earlier? Even Henderson, to be fair, Henderson was on TRT.
Aye, exactly. So it's like he's faced the vast majority of the best guys who've probably got an advantage over him with the stuff that they're taking.
Yeah.
And that's kind of shitty to say because they're really good fighters. But I've like I say, as Bisping's careers went on, I've started to kind of warm to him a little bit more. Not by much. Like, I'm never going to be a super fan. I'm not going to start right. I'm a fan of Bisping. I'm not. I'm never going to be a huge fan. I admire him for what he's did. I admire his courage to never give up on his dream and just keep going for it. And he got there. And there was times when I was like, oh, why is he facing Dan Henderson again? And I was like, but then you kind of realise, like, yeah, they're giving him that fight in his home country against the guy that beat him in the past viciously, and then even the GSP fight, which I think was rightful. He needed those big fights. But fair play to Michael Bisping, like an absolute UK legend for the sport, and what he's did is, I still don't think we've seen the end of like what Bisping's going to do for the actual sport over here. I think he's going to do a lot of big things for. I think gym wise, I think he'll open a gym in Manchester or wherever it'll be, and because there's going to be one open in Nottingham, I think.
Nottingham it is, yeah. Nottingham's UFC gym, yeah.
I think they'll open. Obviously, I think London has to get one, and they should start sprinkling them. But he's got one.
Main cities and stuff like that will get them. Yeah, because you'll have like obviously your UFC fighters based there and stuff. So
yeah, I was kind of that was actually my main takeaway from the whole thing, along with Masvidal just beating the shit out of the UK welterweights, kind of with so
two on one night, and he got 2 bonuses as well. So that's why. Yeah.
That's the thing. When the whole thing happened, I thought they were going to take his bonuses off him.
I know.
If I was in America, 100% he was getting no bonuses, but because there's no commissions in the UK.
Yeah. Cha-ching, cha-ching, dollar bills, y'all.
So yeah, but like I say, this week we're kind of doing things a bit different. We're kind of reviewing more of UFC London, and we're going to quickly kind of get through Thompson Pettis because it's not a card that really appeals to me all that much, and John's kind of I think so. So I think what we'll maybe do is we'll just kind of what we're aiming for.
Short and sweet breakdowns, bro. Yeah, it's easy enough to break these down short and sweet, I think, as well. We'll start down Nashville card, headlined by Thompson and Pettis. We'll kick off right down the flyweight division. You've got Eric Shelton against Jordan Espinosa. Kick off there, Will. Who you got, Eric or Jordan?
I've got Eric Shelton. I watched Jordan Espinosa this morning, actually, and I was watching a couple of his fights 3-4 hours ago at 6 o'clock. Yeah. But very open, very, very open. His fight on the Ultimate Fighter, his 2 fights actually were pretty decent, but his one against Dutro was one there that he saw that he's got power, he can hurt you, but he can also be hurt as well because his hands are super low. Yeah. But he's a flyweight, so they kind of keep that pace for 15 minutes, but he's wide open. I think Shelton actually has just got more kind of experience to him. I know they've kind of got, I think they've got the same amount of fights, actually 12-5, but he's got more bigger fights on the bigger stage. One thing I do like about Espinosa is the fact that he's had a couple of fights in the Dana White show, so maybe it's not as big a jump, especially the 2 fights that he had.
Because it is pressure, that, because you've got Dana just sat cage side with basically your potential high career signed contract in front of you.
Yeah,
so
but
there is pressure.
But you said this before we came on, it's like, what are they putting flyweight fights together for? It's to fight out
the contract, I think. It must be. Because if they cut them, I think they have to probably pay them.
Yeah.
For the fights. So why not just stick them on a card and have them fight?
Yeah, it's. I think it's got the kind of opportunity to be a fairly fun fight, but I like Eric Shelton more. I just think his experience is going to kind of play more into this fight here. No experience, like UFC experience. The Ultimate Fighter, he was in all that as well, so he's been around the big show for a couple of years, and that's a big thing.
I think Shelton's going to win as well, but I think his boxing's going to just literally piece up Jordan. Like Eric's improved on his takedown defense. That was one of his big flaws, was takedown defense. He showed in his last fight that he's actually attacking people with it. Takedowns, and that's one of the things I think a lot of people don't expect that off him. So that's one thing that's catching people with. He's at ATT, I think it was, for that camp, so he's probably still in now training. So that's another big factor. So he's got a takedown offense, but with his boxing, it puts your hands up, so which opens up for the takedowns. I've got Eric as well. I think his hands are literally going to just piece up Jordan for 3 rounds. If he's going to clock Jordan a few times, I've got a decision win for Shelton, but man, I just don't see Jordan being able to hurt Eric's. I think Eric's head movement and footwork will get him out of the danger of those punches of Jordan. But Yeah, I think Eric is not a bad fighter at all. He just had those awkward fights where he just couldn't break through, and he's shown improvement since then. I think we'll get a win for Eric here. Next up, we have in the bantamweight division, unbeaten prospect coming joined on UFC, Ryan MacDonald, taking on Chris Gutierrez. This fight here, I'll be honest, Ryan MacDonald, I looked at some of his fights. He's not a bad fighter. He's not bad. His striking is quite standard. He's quite basic striking, doesn't do anything special. His grappling on the ground, I've seen him caught a few times, get on top, people on top of him, not being able to get out of the positions when people are on top. So I don't think he's particularly strong. That's what it doesn't sound like much. He's bantamweight division, but he can still be a strong bantamweight, So I think one of the issues he's going to have is strength in grappling aspects, because I found out a few times in the grappling in his fights he just wasn't able to win, like the underhook battles as well. He had a bit of trouble there. He tries to go for takedowns himself, so he does have that option for offense. But yeah, I think Gutierrez here it's not a fight. It's not a great fight anyway, to be fair. So I don't want to be rude to both fighters, but Gutierrez is, he lost against Barcelos. I think he came in short notice. Did he come in short notice?
I'm not sure, but Barcelos is an absolute beast. So
yeah, Barcelos is a beast, but I think he came in short notice for that one off the top of my head. And Barcelos, like I say, he's a violent beast. But he is good. He's fought on LFA. He's fought around the kind of top regional shows. Chris Gutierrez, and he is a good fighter. He's got a combination of like KO wins. So he does, and obviously he's done submission wins himself. I'm going with Chris Gutierrez here. I do think he's a better fighter all round than Ryan. I think Ryan's young. I think he's like 7-0. He's got a bit of potential. I just would like to see Ryan maybe polish his skill set off a little bit more. He's at a gym called 6'9" 1-on-1 or something like that. It's called. It's well weird name. I've never heard of it. Have you ever heard of it?
He comes from like a place like a little state. So but not a little state, but a little gym in a state not well kind of known for its kind of MMA. So
exactly. So it could help the gym get a bit of attention, but at the same time, 69 giggity. Let's. I don't know what kind of level of competition he's getting to train with. I think Chris is just probably a better experienced fighter on the big. He's been like LFA's a big fight promotion, to be fair. You know what I mean? So he's probably has had a tougher opponent. Don't get me wrong, every guy Ryan's fought, some have had losing records, but they always had a lot more experience than him. That is one thing I will give him credit for. He didn't fight guys who were like 0-5. They were like 13 and 15, so they had like quite a few more fights. But yeah, I'm going to go with Chris Gutierrez, potentially stoppage, but I'll give Ryan benefit of doubt. He has taken some cracks in other fights and he seemed to hold on well enough. I'll go decision win for Chris.
Yeah, I'm on Gutierrez here. I think that when I watch MacDonald, I don't think he's that good. I think that he's very hittable. You watch that Matt Murray fight, I think it is, Matt Murphy, and he gets tagged a bunch in the first couple of the first round, I should say, and then he kind of comes on, I think he kind of establishes his range a little bit, and then he won the fight. But he's fighting these guys here that have not winning records. Like 6-10 and 14-20, and I think they're old guys as well, like 36, 40 years old.
Some of them are older. Yeah, definitely.
This guy's a pup. He's got more. He's kind of got more in him right now. 25. I think Gutierrez is tough. I think he's just better in every aspect. The betting lines opened as MacDonald is a heavy favourite. And
the sad thing is, there was no odds out on the UK, so I couldn't get anything. Even with there's another fight in the card that was the same situation.
They've been out for a few days in the UK, just haven't got around to it yet, which is just laziness. But
I've only got on Paddy. You see, I've only got a couple of fights. That's
I think it's 4. I think it's the top 4 fights in the main card, and that's it. But like the rest of the card, they're slow to get them out. But for me, I like Gutierrez. I don't really see much in MacDonald coming in here on short notice. I think Gutierrez is just a little bit better where he's fought the better calibre opposition. Fought in World Series of Fights, went 15 minutes with value even there. So for me, I will pick Gutierrez all day, and it'll be a fairly confident pick of mine.
And let's go for an exciting fight up next. Wilfried breakdown. Randa Markos against Angela Hill.
Yeah, 50-50 fight. It's whether
Markos... records.
yeah, that's true. Like I say, Randa Markos, she wins one, loses one, wins one, loses one. So she's kind of on that kind of a vibe of winning fights.
Yeah.
Except she drew her last fight, so she breaks that. Randa gets hit easy. Angela's a striker by trade. I think she's been getting more well-rounded the more she's kind of stuck around the UFC. I honestly don't know with this. I probably will go with Randa Markos. I think she can maybe get some takedowns if she decides to take it there. I think she's stronger. But Angela Hill's going to keep on the outside and try and pick her from the distance. So I'll go. I think, let me put the betting odds up. Let me just go and see. I think I like Randa Markos more. But like I say, I've got no real confidence in that. I'll check the betting odds.
It's a horrible one to pick. It is, because like you said, it's not...
Randa Markos. She's plus 135, so she's the underdog. And I think, honestly, I think it's a pick 'em fight. It's just how you see it. It's whether, if she doesn't get takedown, she's probably going to get beat up in the feet. If she gets takedown, I think she will dominate the fight kind of from there. So I'll go Randa Markos to win by getting takedowns, but like I say, not super confident.
Yeah, I'm stuck on it as well, because I thought Angela Hills looks all right on the feet, but Randa Markos is just... She's weird with her striking, and what I mean by that is she doesn't have a set stance. She kind of walks differently. You've seen it, obviously, when her foot movement, her footwork, it does throw you off your rhythm, but she does it for a takedown grappling aspect. She likes to get you up against the cage and then pull you down, and that's Randa. She likes to keep it tight, because her striking has never evolved. Never. She's never had good strike. It's weird. She's just never been bothered to, hit pads. Angela, yeah, she if she can stop takedown, she'll have this all day. But I've got Randa just for getting the takedowns, really. Just win on the points basis, decision win. Because, but like you say, Will, they're both win one, lose one. They're both due for a win. But I'm going to go with Randa, because I just think that, that takedown is there every now and then for it. Angela Hill likes to throw the kicks, and that's the big factor. When Angela throws the kicks, Markos catches it, takes it down, or shoots for the takedown as she throws the kicks, etc. So it's definitely there. Because I can't see Angela just throwing punches for 3 rounds. That would be the safe thing. Long, just jabs and right straights all day. Keep her on the end, but she won't. She'll throw kicks, and that's where I think you'll see like a single leg takedown or a high single, stuff like that. She'll get her down with. So I'm going to go decision win for Markos. Next up, Will, we have the Alexis Davis against Jennifer Maia. Flyweight division. Alexis going to the flyweight division. Obviously, she was at previously up 155. It's a better weight class for Alexis, but the problem was she met Liz Carmouche in that weight class, and it was really awkward, because it was like, Liz is still a beast. Even at 135, Liz was a beast, and at 125, she's a beast. But Alexis looked not too bad, though. A couple of submissions that he pulled off, etc. So she held her own. Jennifer, she likes to clinch work. She likes to get against the cage. She's got good control on the cage, I thought. She's got a good grip, good power. She likes to strike a bit, but I'm going for Alexis Davis here. I'm going to wrap this up real quick. I think Alexis Davis, experience, huge factor in this one. I think Alexis Davis is smart, suave, knows the game. She can get this fight to the ground, and her submission game is what I think can pull this out the bag. She nearly got Liz a couple of times, and she's got some lovely little transitions to submissions. I'm going to go for the submission win here for Alexis Davis. I know that she is probably on the latter stages of her peak career, but I think she can beat Jennifer. Jennifer is strong. Jennifer wants us to keep us on the feet, keep it standing. But I think Alexis Davis, she can take a punch with Cena, and I think she can get it down and get the grappling, get the submission in.
Yeah, I'm going to go. This is a greasy fight to me. I think I've kind of got this feeling like this fight's going to have split written all over it. I think that Alexis, in many aspects, is a better fighter, but she gets hit a lot. She really does. She can get smashed to bits. I don't think Maia's the type of fighter that's going to smash her to bits, in that fairness. Maia came in against Carmouche. Carmouche, kind of the main aspects of that fight, that she got taken down 3 times. She lost via decision. Davis is dangerous in many aspects. Like you have to be careful with. I thought after she came back after having a kid, I didn't think it was maybe the best idea to do that. But then she's kind of turned it around a little bit. She beat obviously Cindy. She beat Liz Carmouche. Lost to Caitlin Chukagian, who can fight a kind of decent game plan, and that's what happened there. Like I say, I think it's a greasy fight. I'll take Alexis Davis to win a split. But I can see it being super sloppy and pretty close, but I'll go Alexis Davis.
Yeah, it is. It's a dirty one. A couple of dirty fights on the card. A fight that got rearranged and put onto this card because one of the opponents had to pull out due to illness, I think it was. Frankie Saenz against Marlon Vera. So we discussed this in our previous podcasts about this fight. Will, has your mind changed about your previous pick, or are you sticking to your decision last time?
Hey, you know what? I've kind of I think I picked Marlon Vera last time, and he pulled out with the flu, I think it was, in the fight day. But this time around, I don't know why I feel like Frankie Saenz has got more of a chance.
Okay.
I don't know why. I think it could be one of those fights where I think that Frankie's winning early and he gets caught with something. So I'm a little bit kind of torn in this fight. I was not confident. I was a little bit confident that Marlon could win last time. But I don't know why I've kind of changed my tune with this fight pick a little bit. I think that this is another one that's going to be close. I think Marlon's going to give this guy opportunities to make this fight close. Yeah. I think that there's times when Cheeto will accept maybe getting taken to the ground, and that's Frankie's kind of main forte of winning kind of fights. I can see this being another close fight. Like I said, I can see Frankie starting off quick, but then maybe Marlon coming on late and hurting him with some stuff and maybe even stopping him. So I am going to stick with Marlon Vera.
Okay.
I'm going to pick him via third round stoppage, maybe a submission or knockout. But I can see Frankie Saenz. I actually think Frankie Saenz is a very live dog this week. So I'll go Marlon Vera via third round, maybe TKO. But like I say, not super confident. I think Frankie's got a chance.
Yeah, I'm sticking with decision as well with Vera. There's only a few weeks difference between the fight being made. I don't see much change in that time. I think Vera will just be able to just get enough strikes in over the 3 rounds to just pick Frankie, especially those teep kicks, those front kicks. It'll just keep Frankie out of distance, keep him away, and it'll keep him honest. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Vera as well, bro. I think like you say, late win could be absolutely on the cards there. Late stoppage, just eventually breaking down.
The weird thing with this is that it reminds me of, and it's like totally different skill sets, but Montel Jackson and Brian Kelleher, their fight got scrapped and then it got like 2 weeks later or whatever. And I was on Brian Kelleher originally, and then I changed to Montel Jackson, and he absolutely tore through Brian Kelleher. And it's just that extra couple of weeks to look in, and it's maybe just me looking a bit more into Frankie Saenz that I've seen that he's maybe got a better opportunity to win. But I'll stick with my original pick. I just think it could be a lot closer than I initially thought from the first time they were going to fight.
Sometimes, because your training camp is designed for you to peak.
Yeah.
For that fight week, that fight day. And so if you've trained to hit that peak and all of a sudden you've got to go down and back up again, sometimes that little lull can happen and it can affect you hitting that kind of stride going into that fight. So yeah, I'm with you, Will. It could absolutely happen. Next up we have in the featherweight division, Bryce Mitchell, Bobby Moffett. Now, Will, I've got to be honest with you. I like the matchup. I thought these are two kind of prospects, so to speak, in the featherweight division. I thought I was surprised these two guys got to meet each other so early. I thought I would have maybe given both of these guys some more established kind of veteran 50-50 record kind of guys in the featherweight division, but they got each other. But I'm going Bobby Moffett here. I think Bobby Moffett is a stronger guy. I think he's got 3 Darces in a row finishes, so the dude is clamping that on quick, and he's got power in his hands, he can get a takedown, and he's got a submission game. I think Bryce is going to be a bit overpowered here in this fight. I think Bryce is still young, still getting that man strength in there. You can see in his body, he is not that bad. He is strong, but man, that Bobby Moffett is a bloody monster for the featherweight division. I think Bobby's going to get a submission here. I wouldn't be shocked with a Darce, but I think he can get a submission in this fight. I really do. I've got Bobby Moffett all day. I think Bryce Mitchell is a potential future kid, great in the featherweight division. He's going to be in a few years. I just think maybe he'll come short in this fight, in my opinion. I just feel that his striking's good. His takedown defense, offense, everything around his all skill set is not bad at all. But I just think Bobby he's got a kind of killer instinct about him, Bobby has. And I really like that. And what I mean by that is, with the submission game, killer instinct, he is so good at getting that submission in and locking it in. And like obviously the Chase Skelly fight was a bit, Chase was unhappy because he was obviously, he felt it was called early. But the hold was still in. The submission was still in. So if it went maybe another 10 seconds longer, he might have actually ended up going out. Or, we don't know. But either way, it's I've got Bobby Moffett for this one, mate. I think submission.
Yeah, I'm with Bobby Moffett as well. I think Bryce Mitchell's just a little bit too green. I still think he's a really green fighter, but he's scrappy. The dude's scrappy every aspect. So I actually thought Tyler Diamond beat him last time. I think I had money in Tyler, and I felt a little bit disgruntled when that got read out. But it was a kind of close fight. They both had a couple of takedowns each. Tyler, I thought, had landed more. He can advance position a little bit more. But like I say, and every time that Diamond would kind of advance position, Bryce was always scrappy and like moving himself to get back to better positions. I think someone like Moffett, who's got a bit more experience and it's just been fighting like a little bit longer, like I say, more experience on the bigger stages. And I mean, a good win over Chaz Skelly, and it's not. I thought I actually thought Chaz was kind of going to do really well in that one. I felt a little bit. I think did I bet Chaz Skelly in that fight? No, I didn't.
I wouldn't be surprised if anyone did, because
I
would probably, if I did put money on, I would have probably put it on.
Yeah, I can't remember what the odds were for that, but I remember looking at it very, very closely. I thought I was going to pick Chas. That was it. I looked at it super close, and then Bobby obviously got the Dorse that I think was a little bit premature, but it is what it is. I'm going to pick Bobby Moffett. I think he's a little bit. I think experience is going to help. I just think he's if he can deal with the scrappiness of Bryce Mitchell and kind of keep himself in the advantageous position, I think he'll win the fight. So I actually think he might stop Bryce Mitchell. But by the way, Bryce Mitchell, that's the guy that ripped his nuts sack, wasn't it?
Yes.
So fair play to the guy.
He's only half the man he used to be.
Yeah, big balls getting back in the cage again. So, or big ball, whatever. No, fair play to him, but I'm going to go Bobby Moffett.
Yeah. Next up we have in the women's flyweight division, Maycee Barber against JJ Aldrich. Will, what are you looking at here, man, and what are you seeing?
I've been going back and forth on this one. I've had people message me about this today, and I've been trying to not have my phone in my hand as much today, but I've had more than I did. But people have been sending me messages because I'm flip-flopping like really bad in this fight. Initially I was on Maycee.
Interesting.
A couple of hours ago I was on JJ. Went back and watched Maycee Barber's fight against Hannah Cyphers again, and a couple other fights outside the organisation. And yeah, I think JJ's a tough fight because you've seen that she doesn't really throw in bunches, but she picks her shots really well. I think she exposes holes in some of the fighters really well. She finds little spots like Danielle Taylor. She found little feints to move into position to get her shots off before Danielle Taylor kind of moved out, because she doesn't want to take any. She throws one shot at a time, maybe two, and then she's on the run again. But she did really well, and she's riding a 3-fight win streak, and she was a massive underdog. I bet JJ Aldrich in her last fight. Maybe that's why I'm getting a little bit of the kind of thoughts in my head, because she's a plus 200 underdog, and she's coming in here against a girl in Maycee Barber who hasn't got that much experience, but she's 6-0 as a pro, where JJ is 7-2, and I know she had a kind of more extensive amateur career. She came up through Invicta, so JJ Aldrich is like a product of Invicta pretty much, where she had 4 or 5 of her fights before moving to the UFC, and she's 3-1 in the UFC. So maybe that's where I started looking into JJ a little bit and thinking who she's got a chance here. I've kind of went back over to Maycee Barber. I went back with my gut feeling on the pick, because you watch that Cyphers fight and she gets hit a lot. She's wide open to get hit, but she's like, her pace destroys girls, and then her top game destroys girls. It's just she's got some for lady fights. She's got some things that are like big emphatic things to have. If you ask me, the Jamie Colleen one, she just never gave up. She was keep going into that third round, got the stoppage there, and then like I say, I think she's solid. I think there's going to be spots where I'm going to fade her, definitely. I don't think she's nowhere near as good as what some people are saying. Like the fact she's went up to 125 for this one, actually, because she nearly missed weight for that last fight against Cyphers. Good top game. I think JJ could. I think she's a live dog, actually. I'm going to go Maycee Barber, though, via probably a decision, but I can see it being super close.
I'm going JJ. Yeah, I was kind of heavy on JJ when it got announced, and I watched the footage back. And Maycee she's very aggressive, but I feel for me that should play into JJ. JJ's very light on her feet, very active footwork, always moving around, always cutting angles, and that's what I kind of like about JJ. Maycee's very aggressive coming forward, but for JJ that's great, perfect opportunity to expose that jab, pop those straights that she does. JJ has a wonderful 1-2. She's very good at popping in the pocket and then getting out on an angle. And I think this is what we should see her do against Barber. I think she should be able to get those shots off in the pocket and get out of there and just constantly move for 3 rounds. JJ can take a punch. Like, she's been cracked and she's fine. She's got like a head. Oh, she's got a head like a rock. Honestly, I think JJ's she's got a good ceiling about her. I really do. I like JJ Aldrich, and I love watching her grow in Invicta. If I'm honest with you, watching her develop there, because I remember seeing a few things in her back then, and I was like, she's got a good little skill set. She was growing off. She's come leaps and bounds. I do think that she's going to get the 1-2s in and just circle away. And a lot of the footwork's going to be the key here for her. So I'm going to decision win for me for JJ on that one. Next up, I'm going to say this, but I'm not sure. It might not happen. Featherweight, Luis Pena against Steven Peterson. So it might not be featherweight, because I want to see Luis Pena make 145. He's massive. Like, he's going to shave his afro, shave his pubes. What else is he going to do? You know what I mean? He's going to do a Bryce Mitchell and chop off his balls. He's massive. Oh, man. Well, one thing about this fight is, I think Steven Peterson is not the ideal fighter for Luis Pena to fight, especially coming down to his weight class. So he's going to cut down to 145. So he's going to be pretty depleted. So we'll see how he recovers back on a Saturday. His style, he wants a bit of space and a bit of time. He's reminiscent of, for example, Wonderboy, Pettis, McGregor. Those kind of guys that like a little bit of space, wide stance, pick their shots off. Peterson is a bulldog. He's full of rabies, just charging at you, just going. He just doesn't stop. He's just a freaking freight train coming forward with the brakes broke. Peterson, crazy chin, comes forward, throws power in his shots. He's got good pop in his power, and he's actually a good opportunistic fighter for submissions as well. He's not bad at going for submission attempts, and he's just in your face. Pena does not want someone in his face for 15 minutes cutting down at 145 for the first time. It's going to be exhausting because he's going to be on a back foot, going backwards for 3 rounds. Man, I'm going Peterson with this fight. I think Peterson's just going to physically wear Pena down, and it's going to just absolutely break him. I'll go decision win, but I would not be surprised if Peterson stops Pena later rounds. Yeah, I'm going Peterson late stoppage or decision win.
Yeah, I'm not not that I'm a fan of Luis Pena. I just think he's got over a little bit too quick in with this whole Bob Ross thing. He's kind of got himself a character on. The guy's only like 6 or 7 fights, and then there's obviously the tough ones, which is fair enough. But people were on him huge against Trezano. Yes. So I thought, and I see from when I started seeing people betting Luis Pena, I was like, I'm going on the other side, and I bet on Trezano, who was a massive, massive, massive underdog, and Pena, I just thought, Trezano. To be fair, Trezano's a well-rounded kind of guy. He's hard to look good against. It's hard to get out of there, and he's kind of got himself a different style matchup here, and he's moving down to 145. He's like 6'3", and I remember seeing him on the scales at 155, and I'm thinking, so I don't know how he manages to lose another 10 pounds off from what he did, or what 10 pounds, 12 pounds, whatever it is.
Look at Pettis. He went up 45. Look at the way he looked. Look at Ross Pearson going down to 1 foot.
Yeah, he's long. The thing is, when he's long, he's got some attributes there. Yeah. And Steven Peterson, I'm not saying that Steven Peterson's that great, but he's dogged. He gets hit, he does get hit a lot, though. So maybe that's something Pena does, is keep him on the outside. But I think eventually he's going to start to gas, and I don't think Steven Peterson doesn't stop.
No.
So and he's got the skill set that can absolutely start to drown Luis Pena. Get in the clinch, start getting takedowns. I think Pena will get back to his feet. I just think it'll be rinse, repeat from Steven Peterson. He's going to take a lot of damage. I can see this, him getting beat up a little bit. People are on Luis Pena this week. Again, he's a massive favourite. Again, so I'm going to go the other way. Again, I don't know whether I'm going to go. know whether I will bet it. What is the odds actually?
I
Stephen
am.
Peterson.
When the odds come out for me, I'll
It's
bet on Peterson.
240.
I'm
So it's
betting Peterson flat
240.
out.
Like I say, I think it's a bit of a tough card to bet, but I'm going to pick Stephen Peterson. I think he can break Luis Pena. A lot more experience. I just think he can beat Luis Pena. I'm not sold on Luis Pena at all, but he's one UFC win. Richie Smullen. Yeah. So think of that. What you like, but I'm going to go Stephen Peterson via decision.
Nice, bro. Nice. Do you know what? Probably like number 2 fight on the card, in my opinion. Formiga against Figueiredo, sorry. Flyweight division. Two fantastic guys going against each other. Obviously, I like the matchup. Sadly, if this flyweight division was still kicking around, this could potentially be the next one of these two could be the next guy to fight Henry Cejudo. But what are you looking at here?
Yeah, I think this is the fight to see where we think Deiveson Figueiredo. I think we're going to find out a lot here if he's one of these top guys in. I don't know why I'm saying it's the flyweight division because I still find it flyweight here, but we're going to see what he's all about because Formiga doesn't lose to bad fighters at all.
Nope.
He only really loses to the best guys, your Dodsons, Benavidez. And when I'm saying Dodson was a top guy in that division. Ray Borg fought for a title. Cejudo's got the belt for whatever thing that's going to really make, but and he fought close with Cejudo. He really did, and he beats who he should beat and put in front of him. And like he makes it look. I don't want to say easy, but he's hard to look good against. It's hard to. You don't really stop him all that much, except for when Benavidez beat him down in Brazil, and John Dodson knocked him out. But this is for me to see where Deiveson Figueiredo is because he's super exciting. You can obviously see he's a big, heavy hitter. We saw that with his last few fights. Yeah. The Jared Brooks one was a big eye-opener for me. He got taken down 6 or 7 times there. And I'm not saying that Jussier Formiga is the type of guy that's going to be like balls to the wall like Jared Brooks is because he's not. He works his takedowns very differently. Trips. He's very savvy with his takedowns. Very, very good. But he's going to have to get close to the bigger guy here and figure out how to get him down. Now, if he gets him down, I think when he gets your back, like the Pettis fight, Pettis didn't have a clue what to do to get that guy off.
No.
And he does that with a lot of guys. And I think he can do that with Figueiredo now. I think he's going to expend a lot of energy in doing so, and he might get him off him the odd time. But I just think that Formiga is going to win rounds by somehow. And I always underestimate Formiga's striking a little bit, so he might be able to compete up there enough to get these takedowns. I feel more confident in picking Formiga, even though I'm a big fan of Deiveson Figueiredo. But yeah, I'm going to go Jussier Formiga via decision.
Okay, interesting, nice. I was horrible one to pick this one for me as well, bro. I'm with it. I love both of them, if I'm honest with you. I love what both of these guys. I've always been a fan of Formiga in this division, but Figueiredo for me, bro. I'm picking him. He's had 3 knockouts in his past 4 fights. He does hit hard, and I just feel that he's super aggressive. As a dog dropped a bomb.
Yeah, the dog has absolutely stunk the place out, and she's yeah.
Looking at you, going, what? What's happened?
Yeah,
I don't smell anything.
She's absolutely annihilated this room. So, yeah.
Yeah, mate, I'm going Figueiredo. I just think that the dude is so aggressive. He hits so hard. He's relentless and fearless. He's fun to watch. But the thing is, like I say, the Ray Borg fight was a great one to watch against Formiga. Because Ray Borg won, but it wasn't a great. It was like a really hard fight for Ray and obviously Formiga as well. Because like Formiga was getting a few good shots in, Ray Borg was just getting a little bit more, letting a little bit more in, and I think this is where Figueiredo can get a bit more in. I'm not saying it'll stop him. I want a decision win for Figueiredo, but I just feel that on the striking side of things, he can just get a few more shots landed, and that can obviously tick over on the scorecards for him. So yeah, I want a decision win on that one. Next up, we have lightweight division. This matchup got made due to the fact that the Casey's opponent got injured, and then Pinedo's opponent got injured, and they were both all 4 on the card, so just stick these two together. So yeah, mate, Casey against Jesus Pinedo. I'm going to Mark Diakese. I'll go off the bat here. Reason being is...
Diakese, John Makdessi.
Oh, sorry, John Makdessi. I've got my Diakese on the brain there, haven't I? I'm already on the hype train there. Back on it after I got blown up a few fights ago. Yeah, I'm going to Mark. Sorry, I've got Mark again here. John, I'm going John here. Okay, Mark Makdessi.
John Makdessi.
John Makdessi, yeah, Diakese, one of the two. I'm going John.
I actually think you're thinking more about Hakparast. I think that's what's sticking around.
Hakparast is in my head. I was going to say Hakparast got pulled injured as well, but yeah, I'll go John. I'll go John. Jesus, there you go. I'm going John simply because I think that he far more experienced, far more high level guys he's fought against. I believe John's been training with Duke Rufus as well for a little bit, so that is a huge factor. He has shown improvements with good old Duke, and I just think Jesus is not. He's not bad, don't get me wrong, but he is very much beatable for John here. Like, John should not have a problem with this fight. He could lose, but he shouldn't lose. I think he'll win this fight. If he doesn't stop him, he'll easily get a free 30-27 win, sorry. No, it's not Pinedo's fault either. He's obviously got a fight, and he's taking the fight, but, you know, I'd rather have that Chris Grutzen-Mega, whatever the hell his name was, he was meant to fight. I'd rather have him than John here, but yeah, that's my decision.
Yeah, I'm going to go Makdessi here. I was all over Hakparast. I really was. I already bet him, and then that fight got pulled. So I liked Hakparast in that spot. I like Makdessi in this spot. Pinedo I didn't think he looked good against Devin Powell. I thought he looked kind of woeful. He wings his shots. Mm-hmm. It was a kind of close striking battle. His kind of takedowns won him that fight. I don't see a high ceiling for him. I think Makdessi, this is going to be just a 15-minute kind of sparring session where he's the more technical striker, picks his shots better, might try and actually mix it up, and we might see a takedown game. I've very much doubt of that, but I think it's something he could do. Like the fact he's went to Rufus Sport full time. That's pretty decent as well. So I'll go John Makdessi decision, but I think it could be a bit of a sleeper fight, not a very good one.
Yeah. Next up, co-main event, we're going to have Curtis Blaydes against John Willis. Well, what do you see happening in this one, man? Big boys throwing bombs.
Yeah, I like I say, Curtis Blaydes, I think he's going to be full on wrestle mode here. I really don't see him. Like, he got his chin checked last time, and the last time that happened, he went straight back to his grappling, his wrestling. It's what he's going to do here. It's whether he can get Justin Willis down, because Justin Willis is a big dude. Big burly dude.
Short as well, John.
Yeah, he's only like 6 foot 6'1".
Is he that tall? Because I remember when we met him in Scotland, I was like, dude, he just looked weirdly. Yeah, 6'1", yeah. Didn't even think he was that big when I stood next to him.
Yeah, but he's looked great in the UFC. I know his opponents have not been good. Mulher and Effie, Crowder's not good. Sherman just gets hit far too much, and Mark Hunt, he just totally pieced up Mark Hunt really, and really established a nice jab from the southpaw stance. Really hard to take down, but Curtis Blaydes takes people down. I don't care if he's not getting knocked out, he takes people down, and he takes it down with relative ease as well. So it's whether we're going to see Justin kind of Willis's game here, whether he can stop a guy who's definitely got a better gas tank, who's going to do more. But you know what his game plan is going to be. I don't think he's going to want to strike all that much, because I think Willis will maybe piece him up a little bit with his shots. He picks his shots really well. He's an accurate striker. I like that. But Curtis Blaydes, if he wins this fight, he will win via takedowns. The only fight that he didn't do that against was Omilanchuk, who's also a kind of short, kind of stocky guy. He's like 6 foot as well, so that's interesting to me a little bit. But I just see the kind of more athletic guy in Curtis Blaydes. I think he'll get takedowns as the fight goes on, but I think he might struggle to get them early on. So I'm not super confident in Curtis Blaydes. I'll not be betting him this week. No. But I'll pick him to win a decision.
Yeah, I think it's going to be... I want to see how Justin handles getting up, because he's training with Daniel Cormier, he's training with like Cain Velasquez, so he's training with guys who can grapple and wrestle all day long. So I think Justin, don't get me wrong, he'll get taken down, because like you said, Blaydes can get people down. He's good. He's good at getting that single leg and then running the pipe with it and getting them down to the ground. I'm just interested to see how Justin pops back up, because takedowns are hard work. I could only imagine what it's like pulling down someone who's 250, 60, 70 pounds. Good googly moogly. I would be exhausted doing that once, never mind 3 or 4 times. So it would be interesting to see if Curtis... I think Curtis might try to entice Justin in for a striking a bit, to make you think, oh, I'm okay to stand. I think Curtis might throw a couple of jabs, maybe feint a couple of straights, just to kind of pull Justin into the striking game to open up the takedowns. That would be my game plan if I was Curtis. I wouldn't go in there straight for the takedowns, because Justin's probably expecting it. So try and bait him in a bit, trying to get him to throw something, then get the takedowns in. But I'll go decision as well for you. Well, I'm going Curtis decision, just because I think that he could even just stay on top, even grapple, keep him up against the cage, keep it tight, underhook battles, stuff like that. Just get that win on that side of things. I think Justin's a big lad, and I think if Curtis can just put the tempo on him, he might get in the 3rd round and just have Justin blowing heavy. Because Justin, for me, could lose 20 pounds and be a far better fighter. He's got a little bit too much extra baggage that he doesn't need. So yeah, I'll go Curtis as well, bro. But I think he's got to be cautious. Main event time. I can't be honest with you. I remember when Stephen Thompson against Anthony Pettis. I remember when Pettis said, "Oh, I love this fight. I'd love to have this matchup at 170." And immediately when I saw it, I went, I don't know anyone that does. And still to this day, I have no idea who thinks that's a good idea and who thinks that's a good matchup. Honestly, if you do, you're out your mind. The UFC did it because, well, Stephen Thompson, he's in that kind of weird situation where he's not going to get a title fight, probably. He's just weirdly but he's still in the mix of the elite guys in the top 5. So what do you do with him? Anthony Pettis, he's not going to get a title fight anytime soon. He's on the outskirts of the top 10. So, for Anthony Pettis, he got a win, looked mint, and then he's just it's a fun fight. And it's just a fun scrap. Doing a solid to 2 guys who fancied having a fight. But Will, what do you see in this matchup, bro?
Like I say, it's just a matchup that really doesn't do anything for me. I think it's going to be more fun than what people let on, but it's just a matchup that's just weird. Because me, Anthony Pettis, and I'm a big Pettis fan, it's like he's a gatekeeper at 155 now. There's nothing more than that. Yeah. So I think one of the reasons he maybe took this fight is that he knows that Wonderboy's not going to take him down. So it's going to be a fight. Yeah. So when you look at it, you've obviously got the karate background of Wonderboy, you've got the taekwondo background of Showtime, and Showtime's he still gives you super exciting fights. That fight with he nearly caught and put out Tony Ferguson. Let's not kind of forget about that in his last fight. But the damage, literally the last few years, probably since I want to say, well, DeSantos, probably probably since DeSantos. Before that, he really didn't take all that much damage, but since then, he took damage against obviously RDA. He took a lot. Barboza absolutely pieced him up.
Yeah.
Holloway destroyed him.
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier absolutely he made him quit pretty much. And then Tony Ferguson, the damage that Anthony has taken is for me it kind of reminds me of the kind of Diego Sanchez. There's going to be fights he's going to be live in, and that's like the Kaiser one, obviously Jim Miller, the Oliveira one, which I always thought, but he still took some damage in that fight as well. So this is the fight that's going to be a stand-up fight. I don't know whether it's going to be one of these fights that they're going to like teep kicks and all this, and they're going to be fighting at distance. I think it's going to be a lot more fun than what people are letting on, but it's hard to just look past Wonderboy. I think Wonderboy's just going to outscore him, and it's going to be a kind of fight like a scoring fight like that. And I think that Wonderboy is just a little bit. The strikes that he will land, I think, will count a little bit more than what Anthony will throw. Now, it'd be interesting to see if it's hit the mat, because Anthony is he's dangerous. He's shown that the guy's got submissions all the time. But if this is a stand-up fight, you can't write off Anthony Pettis. I just think that Wonder Boy over 25 minutes is just going to land a cleaner, more effective shots and win a pretty comprehensive decision. Obviously, I want Anthony Pettis to win, but looking at the fight, I think Wonder Boy rightfully is a fairly decent favourite here. I don't think he should be as high a favourite as what he is. He is he's minus 445. I think that's off, personally. But I can see why is so high. But I'm going to go Stephen Thompson to win via decision.
Yeah, I'm Stephen Thompson as well. I think Thompson's going to stop Pettis 4th, 5th round. I think he'll stop him. I think he'll counter him. I think he'll get the timings down. And we've seen what Thompson can do. He just hits that slight angle. He just moves offset and then pops those punches and just lands on the button and just wrecks. It just hurts guys and to be fair, Thompson is pretty good with that killer instinct to get on top of it and finish the fight, to close it out. That's one thing I do give credit to Thompson when he gets that opportunity. But you look at the damage, like you said, well, the big factor is, look at Thompson and his fights. He's actually not had that much damage compared to Pettis. So that's one thing you got to think about. Thompson doesn't take a lot of damage. He's very good, very mobile, very smart with his output, and smart with his kicks. Pettis, like you said, far more suitable fight for him because he has no threat of the takedowns. But he's got the threat of Thompson being bigger, stronger, longer. It's another factor to take in. You know, it's as much as you're not going to have to worry about the wrestling, you're going to have to worry about a guy who's going to be a lot bigger than you. And he is going to be bigger. Thompson is going to 100% be bigger. He'll probably hit harder and be stronger. So I'm absolutely buzzing for the fight because I think Thompson can, on a technical standpoint, I'm buzzing for it. I don't think it does anything for either one of them. It's just a bit of fun. It literally is a bit of fun. And the rest of the fights are just fights to give other people fights on their contracts. That's all his card is. But I'm going Thompson, 4th, 5th round stoppage, and then Pettis goes back down to being a gatekeeper at 155.
Yeah, that's, like I say, it's a fun fight for him, I suppose. It's like another fight in your resume who fought for titles, and it's a big fight. And like I say, I think the main thing is that he's not going to get taken down. So if it's a stand-up fight, he's got opportunities to pull off some of his stuff. I just think he's going to be able to do it against Wonderboy.
And then we'll go to the bets, Will. Is there any bets that you're thinking about doing, or is there any bets that you think might be open for people? Like you think, if you are going to bet, check the lines out for XYZ.
This reminds me of the Kansas card 2 weeks ago, where I absolute beaten. This reminds me of that card, but I don't know how much action I'm kind of going to have in this. Like I say, okay, I picked some underdogs. Formiga, he's plus 145. I think that's a decent line. Who else?
What's Moffett and Mitchell?
Moffett is minus 175 to Mitchell's plus 155. Now, I might put actually Moffett. He might be a parlay piece for me.
Okay.
Actually.
Let's have a look at let's do Ryan, MacDonald, and Gutierrez, bro. What's that?
I think he's minus 185.
Okay.
It's good. Gutierrez minus 185 plus 160. So it's like Steven Peterson. If you think you've got a good shot on a dog, your odds there are decent. I don't think I'm going to go there, so I'm going to pick him just to win. Maybe Maycee Barber interests me. She's going to be one of these people that if she wins, I'll be like, oh, I should have bet her there. Or she's going to be one of those people like when I didn't bet, it's like, oh, I'm glad I didn't bet her there. But
what is she?
Maycee Barber is minus 230 to plus 190 for JJ Aldrich. So I think this is one of these greasy cards. I'm not a big fan. This reminds me of the Wichita card, and I got my ass handed to me in that card.
So for a little fun bet, Will, would it be a little giggle? Not put a lot on, but put a couple of pennies on. Peterson and Aldrich parlay.
If you want that
for a bit of fun.
Yeah, if you want a big odds parlay, then that's not a bad way to go.
What's Makdessi? What's his? He must be probably high.
Makdessi minus 320.
Jeez Louise, goodness me.
So, but Pinedo's just not good.
Yeah, I know he isn't, but darn it. So we're for better odds there. What about Blaydes, bro, and Willis? What's that one?
Blaydes is minus 310. Justin Willis plus 255.
Damn, that's high, man. That is high. That
Yeah,
wouldn't Willis be a not a bad one to do, because Willis
you
could
could,
potentially do something, you know?
you could make it a rough and tough fight for Blaydes, but
Yeah.
you can see why he's been built up.
Yeah, yeah.
Blaydes has been built up like that. But like I say, we're only coming into just Monday here, so it's like I don't know. I'm not seeing a hell of a lot in this card, and like I say, that Wichita card a couple of weeks ago has kind of scared me a little bit into. I made 2 silly bets in that one. I lost a wee bet last week in London, so I just need to try and get myself back on track here.
Just
So if I see something,
maybe
I'll
knock down the bets and then reduce them and pick the more safer fights.
see. The thing is, so like, I really liked last week for betting. I just picked the wrong bloody spots. So instead of picking Diakese, which I liked, and Grundy, I went with Danny Roberts and I went with Gunny, and I went with John Phillips. So it's like, yeah, it's a tough card for betting
This
this
fight
week.
coming up, though, the fight card coming up next, so there's potentially some better options for you to bet, though, looking
There
at
is.
it. There is, isn't there? So sometimes some cards are good, sometimes some cards aren't. So sometimes a good idea maybe just to give it a week, leave it, and then jump to the next one.
Yeah, I think
What's
this is
wrong with
what
that?
I'm maybe going to try and find one, maybe 2 solid plays as the fight week goes on. If there's something that I see more, but
See the
I'm
lines
looking,
change, etc. Yeah.
I'm looking more towards Philadelphia. If I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. Philly! Big Philly! Well, that's the card, ladies and gentlemen. Nashville, and a little preview of UFC London. Once again, before we go, if you're still listening, just hit the subscribe button, give us a follow. Thanks very much for all your support. It's goodbye from me. Any last words, Will?
Just like I say, it's not the biggest and best fight card we're going to have for the year. Just enjoy it. Philly's going to be a card. You've got Barboza and Gaethje, so hot damn, that's going to be a fight and a half. And then we've actually this big run that we've had, we're actually going to have a break before UFC 236, and we've got some massive fights there where we're going to have a special guest on to break down the fights with. And if you think where the fights are being held, I don't think it's too much to kind of look into who we're going to have on, but he's a good friend of ours, a really good friend of mine. Actually, I speak to this guy on a daily basis when I get the opportunity to. One of the best cappers in the game, and he's going to be breaking down fights in his hometown, so stick around for that one. But until next week, we'll be back for Barboza Gaethje. From me and John, all the best. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.